Hey guys, this is Doctor McFarland, and today we're going to be looking at the difference between the stock version and the modded version of a Line 6 M5. So let's check it out. So I'm pretty excited to share with you a cool demo today between the stock version and the modded version of a Line 6 M5. I've actually had this M5 for a few years, and I've also owned the M13 and also the M9. And really the M series is a great line of pedals. It was very well thought out, and all the tones that you can get are really great, especially compared to the price tag that you can get, especially on the used market. You can pick up an M5 for anywhere from 100 to 120 bucks, and they are really a steal of a deal. So if you got the room on your pedal board, I highly suggest adding it on there to get extra reverbs, delays, all kinds of modulation effects, and even the overdrive sounds are really good. So I got the two pedals here set up side by side. I got my vintage V100 Les Paul and iced tea finish, which I love this thing. And I'm also playing through a Quilter Pro Block 200, which is a very clean, pedal friendly amp. So that's my signal chain. Let's check out the pedals. Alright, so we're going to start off by looking at some of the physical characteristics between the stock version and the modded version. The first thing that I noticed is, what does this little button right here do? On the stock version, if you want to get to the presets page, you have to press these two buttons at the same time, and that gets you to your different presets. From there you can scroll up and down, and then to go back you have to press those two again. Well, on the modded version, you just have to press that one button and it goes into your presets page, and then from there you can scroll up and down and all that fun stuff. So, and then you just press it again to get back out into your regular view. And also this knob right here, which can be a physical knob that you turn, or he can mod it to where there's just like a little screw on either the side. I think it's on the side right here of the unit, that you can take a small screwdriver and turn that. And basically what you're doing, you're finding the neutral point to where you're not dropping in volume or you're not getting too much volume when you kick on and off the pedal. And there's also an audio upgrade that he does to the circuitry. I'm sure he changes out a few components and whatnot just to make everything run a little cleaner on the inside of the pedal. And not to say that the stock version doesn't sound good already, but what he does to the audio upgrade, he messes with the buffers and maybe like the true bypass kind of stuff, and it does sound slightly better, I think. But that's the point of this video, is to try and figure out what the reverbs, delays, overdrives, distortions, tremolos, is there a real difference that you can distinguish between the stock version and the modded version. And the last thing I'll say about the physical characteristics is he also upgraded the switches. If you've owned an M5 or have one currently, go and feel how your switch turns on and off. There's like a little bit of play, a little bit of springiness going on in there. But the upgraded switches just feel really sturdy, and it doesn't feel like it's going to wear out over time, which these kind of switches will do, and they have done for a lot of other people. Which is why I suggest, go ahead and at least get the switch upgraded. You can hold off on the audio if you really don't feel like it's that much of a difference, but the switches will save you a lot of time and headache down the road if you go ahead and get those switched out. So let's go ahead and call up an overdrive, because that's one of the biggest arguments that I hear people say is, oh, the reverbs, delays, modulations, those sound great, but the overdrives sound horrible. And I really beg to differ. I think the overdrives sound really good. So we're going to call up your basic tube drive, and how you get to the different effect types is just by pressing the model select. And so now we're on the tube drive setting, and I'm pretty sure this comes up as like a default settings. So we have drive about 1 o'clock, mid, treble, and bass about 12 o'clock, and then the output is pretty high. But so here's my clean tone. So let's start off with the stock version. Alright, so first thing I do is make sure the output of the pedal is matching my clean tone. You can hear a little jump in volume there, so. Alright, so I'm not going to worry about the mid, treble, and bass as far as the EQ. Let's go over to the modded version. Try and match the outputs. Let's go ahead and switch over to the bridge pickup. And here's the stock version. Alright, so let's go ahead and shape this tone just a little bit. Let's bring the bass down. Let's bring the treble up. And this may not be exact, but it's going to be close. Okay, so here's the stock version. And then here's the modded version. Bring the treble up, maybe the output up just a little bit. Back to stock. Back to mod. Let's bring the drive down to like a low gain kind of setting, and let's bring the output back up. All right there. All right, here's the stock version. Mod version. Alright, let's go the opposite way. Let's crank up the drive a little bit. Stock. And here's the modded. Bring up the output. Alright, very cool. So once again, I think there's not a huge difference in tone or overall feel of the pedal. But let's go ahead and move on to, let's do some modulation. Let's do Opto Tremolo. So here's the stock version. And I'm going to bring the mix down a little bit. Okay, I'm on the middle pickup again, or middle position, and this is the modded version with the mix down on the tremolo. Back to stock. Back to modded. So once again, they sound really close. Let's go to some reverbs. Let's go to a spring reverb. Here is the stock version. And the modded version. Okay, back to stock. Back to modded. Alright, let's bring the mix up a little bit. Actually, a lot. Here's the stock version. Here's the modded. Okay, let's bring the mix down. Let's bring the decay up. Here's the stock version. Make sure the tails are ringing out there so you can hear that. Here's the modded version. Alright, let's move on to our delay. Let's just do an analog echo. We're going to keep this around 300 milliseconds. And let's turn the mix up pretty good so you can hear it. Alright, here we go. Okay, here's the modded. Back to stock. Modded. Alright, let's crank up the feedback. Modded. And here's the modded. Alright, very cool. Let's go to my favorite delay. Actually, the auto volume echo. This thing is great. And it's really the only reason why I have the M5 is for that auto volume echo, because it's a sound that was left over from the DL4 era. Once again, those pedals were great, but the switches were notorious for going out. So if you still have one, you can easily upgrade the switches. Jack Vaughn also does the audio upgrades to those as well. It's well worth it if you want to keep your DL4 running for a very long time. So let's check out the auto volume echo. Basically what this is really what it says is an auto volume, and then somebody turn the mix all the way down, and the mix is really just affecting how much delay is in the signal. Here's a swell. Let's go over to the stock. Now let's add in the echo, and this is where the mod, the time, and the feedback is going to come in. So here's the stock version. Okay, here's the modded version. Alright guys, so what did you think of those tones? Could you hear a significant difference between the stock version and the modded version? It's kind of hard to tell on some of the settings, and some other settings you can tell a slight difference. Definitely check out Jack Vaughn of JHV3, and I'll put the link down in the description below so you can check him out. And there's a lot of other guys that do mods for the M series as well. They also do mods for the DL4, the MM4, the FM4, all kinds of stuff. So, like I said earlier in the video, definitely get these switches upgraded, because you're going to feel a huge difference when you put your foot on that switch. And it's just way more solid. And as far as the audio upgrade, well, you be the judge. I think it is worth the money spent if you can go ahead and get it done. That way you know your unit will last you for years and years and years, and you won't have any issues at all. One thing I probably would have done differently is, instead of having the buffer switch on right here on the top, I probably would just had a little screw set thing on the side there, because once you get it set to where you need it, you really don't need to move it probably ever. And with the knob being on top right there, it just tends to get knocked around and moved. That's probably what I would have done differently, but it works great just the same. Thanks guys for checking out my video. If you want to be a more confident musician, definitely consider subscribing to my channel below. And be sure to click on the bell icon so you'll be notified every time I release new content. I am Dr. McFarland. I hope you have a great week and keep rocking. See ya. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my videos and my YouTube channel. If you want to see a lot more cool content, be sure to head over to drmcfarlandstudios.com.